Foundation's 6th episode of Season 3 delivers one of the most pivotal and shocking moments in the series so far, as multiple storylines converge while the mysterious Mule makes his devastating first major move against the Foundation. Titled, The Union of Worlds. This episode weaves together several crucial plot threads that have been building throughout the season, giving us deeper insights into Gaal's abilities, the nature of the Second Foundation, and the Mule's terrifying powers that could change the fate of the galaxy. The episode opens with a chilling glimpse into the Mule's mind as he awakens from what appears to be a nightmare but what he describes as a vision. For years, he explains, he has felt like he's been wearing someone else's dreams, haunted night after night by the same face, a woman's face that he now identifies as Gaal Dornick. This revelation comes after his encounter with Captain Pritchard on Calgon, where he touched Pritchard's mind and discovered they share similar abilities. The Mule now understands that Gaal poses an existential threat to him, declaring that he must find and destroy her, even if I have to burn everything to do it. With this ominous declaration, he orders his ship, the Black Tongue, prepared for immediate departure, setting the stage for the episode's climactic events. Meanwhile, on Clarion, Demerzel confronts Gaal Dornick after tracking her down through Brother Dawn's nanites. The confrontation is tense and potentially deadly, as Demerzel initially grabs Gaal by the throat, demanding to know why Dawn was working with her. Demerzel reveals that Dawn died in an explosive decompression accident in an airlock, though Gaal correctly perceives that Dawn was afraid of Demerzel. In a shocking moment, Gaal attempts to attack Demerzel, only to discover what viewers have known all along. Demerzel is a robot. I assumed Dr. Selden informed you I was a robot. I see I was mistaken, Demerzel states coldly, turning the tables on Gaal's attempt to gain the upper hand. What follows is one of the most information-rich conversations of the season, as Gaal explains the existence of the Second Foundation to Demerzel. While the First Foundation was established to preserve knowledge and technology during the coming Dark Age, the Second Foundation has a different composition and purpose. Its members possess mental abilities, telepathy, and extrasensory perception that make them uniquely suited to guiding humanity through the crisis. Gaal reveals that she can project her consciousness forward in time, seeing probable futures in a way that defies conventional understanding of temporal physics. When Demerzel expresses skepticism about information traveling backward on the timeline, Gaal explains that the spacers understand time as a shape rather than a linear progression, something she experienced firsthand when she remained conscious during jump space travel. To prove her abilities, Gaal agrees to let Demerzel access her mind directly through an invasive procedure involving filaments extruded through her sinuses and otoacoustic nerves. This disturbing but fascinating scene gives us our first glimpse of Gaal's vision, a confrontation with the Mule, in what Demerzel later identifies as the Imperial Library on Trantor. During this mental connection, both Gaal and Demerzel temporarily die when Demerzel suffers a system failure that causes a localized EMP, stopping Gaal's heart before Demerzel revives her. In the aftermath, Demerzel reveals that she detected something Gaal missed in the vision, an infrasonic signature 65 octaves below middle C, gravitational waves emanating from a black hole. This leads to the realization that 4 months from now, Gaal will be orbiting the ergosphere of a black hole, likely aboard the Invictus, setting up what promises to be a crucial future confrontation. On Trantor, we witness a poignant and ultimately tragic reunion between Brother Day and his former lover, Songbird 17. Day visits her in the Mycogen district, bearing sweets as a gift, only to discover that her memories of their relationship have been completely erased as part of the standard protocol for royal concubines. Day reveals that, against all rules, he had previously honored Song's request to keep her memories of their time together, as she saw him as someone who might do you a kindness. He presents her with a device that could restore these memories, including the revelation that Day is a robot, a fact that would align with the Mycogenian religious belief in the inheritance. Song firmly rejects his offer, insisting she has moved on with her life and has a partner, Oceanglass 49, whom she introduces as her life mate. When Day persists, Oceanglass electrocutes him with some kind of weapon, bringing the painful encounter to an abrupt end. The episode's main action shifts to New Terminus, where Tauren Beta, Magnifico, and Randu Malo have arrived to warn Mayor Inber III about the Mule's threat. Initially detained alongside the already imprisoned Captain Pritchard, the group eventually gains an audience with Inber after Magnifico claims the Mule is coming for both Foundation and Empire. Despite his obvious disdain for the traitors represented by Randu Malo, Inber agrees to listen to Magnifico play his Visi-Sonor instrument as a gesture of goodwill, particularly since a Selden crisis appears imminent with the vault about to open during an eclipse. In what becomes the episode's most consequential sequence, Magnifico performs for the Foundation leadership, seemingly winning them over completely. As the eclipse reaches totality, the vault opens, and Hari Seldon's hologram appears. Selden speaks about the Cold War between the Foundation's central government and the independent traitors, predicting an inevitable revolt, but suggesting that beyond this crisis lies something beautiful: T-Sire union of worlds. When questioned about the Mule, Selden appears confused, asking, "What is the Mule?" before his hologram is unexpectedly hijacked. The Mule's voice emerges from Selden's hologram, mocking them all and revealing that while they've been pontificating down there, he has been proliferating up here. In a horrifying moment, Foundation ships begin firing on each other above New Terminus, with the Mule explaining he's culling the herd before I take the reins, and revealing his intention to march on Trantor together. As chaos erupts, the vault's null field reactivates, and the Selden hologram abruptly ends, leaving the Foundation leadership in disarray as they flee for their lives. The episode's final moments are filled with desperate confusion as Ebeling Miz tries to find a way off planet while Beta searches for Pritchard. In the aftermath of the attack, the Mule has apparently seized control of the Foundation's Whisper fleet, giving him the capability to reach Trantor almost instantly. This news reaches Demerzel and Gaal, who realize the Empire may be facing an imminent threat unlike any it has encountered before. One of the most intriguing aspects of this episode is how it deepens the mystery around Magnifico's true identity. Throughout the season, viewers have been given reason to suspect that Magnifico himself might actually be the Mule, using his seemingly innocent demeanor as cover while his Visi-Sonor performances serve as a conduit for his mind control abilities. The timing of events in this episode, Magnifico's performance coinciding with the Mule's attack, certainly lends credence to this theory, though the episode deliberately avoids confirming or denying it, maintaining the suspense that has been building around this character. The episode also expands our understanding of psychohistory and its limitations. Through Gaal's conversations with Demerzel, we learn that mentalics like Gaal and potentially the Mule are outliers whose abilities cause the mathematical predictions to break down. The math seems to break whenever you factor us into the future, Gaal explains, suggesting that the second foundation was Selden's way of building redundancy into his plan, a human backup system that could navigate the unpredictable variables that pure mathematics cannot account for. This revelation fundamentally changes our understanding of Selden's plan and the true nature of the Foundation project. The confrontation between Demerzel and Gaal represents a significant power shift in the series' dynamics. For 2 seasons, Demerzel has been positioned as perhaps the most formidable individual in the galaxy, an immortal robot with unparalleled knowledge and influence over the Empire. Yet in this episode, she encounters someone who can see what she cannot, the future. Their uneasy detente at the episode's end suggests a potential alliance of convenience against the Mule, though Demerzel makes it clear she will only help Gaal if she can be convinced doing so won't harm the dynasty. Brother Day's storyline, while seemingly disconnected from the main plot, provides crucial emotional context for understanding the Empire's fundamental flaws. Day's visit to Song reveals his genuine capacity for human connection and regret, emotions that the genetic dynasty structure is designed to suppress. His attempt to restore Song's memories represents a desire to be seen and remembered as an individual rather than just another iteration of Cleon. The rejection he faces, not just Song's refusal, but the violent intervention by Oceanglass, underscores the growing resistance to imperial influence throughout the galaxy, even in places as close to Trantor as the Mycogen district. The episode's climactic attack on New Terminus represents a dramatic escalation of the threat the Mule poses. Up until now, his actions have been relatively contained, focused on building his power base on Calgan. With this direct assault on the Foundation itself, he demonstrates not just his military capabilities, but his ability to turn the Foundation's own resources against it through his mental manipulation. The image of Foundation ships attacking each other illustrates perfectly the unique horror of the Mule's abilities. He doesn't just conquer from without, but corrupts from within, turning allies against each other in a way no conventional military force could achieve. The revelation that the Mule intends to attack Trantor next raises the stakes to a galactic level. Throughout the series, Selden's plan has been predicated on the gradual decline of the Empire over centuries, with the Foundation positioned to shorten the coming Dark Age. The Mule represents an unforeseen acceleration of this process, potentially bringing about the Empire's fall not in centuries, but in months or even weeks. This dramatic compression of Selden's timeline creates a crisis that neither the first nor second Foundation may be fully prepared to address. As the episode concludes, the various plot lines that have been developing separately throughout the season are converging rapidly. Demerzel and Gaal now share knowledge of the Mule's immediate threat. The Foundation's leadership has been scattered by the attack on New Terminus. The Mule himself is consolidating power and preparing to move against Trantor. And somewhere in the future, a confrontation awaits near a black hole that could determine the fate of the galaxy. The pieces are now in place for the season's endgame, with multiple factions racing to either preserve or remake the future that Selden predicted. The union of worlds, ultimately serves as both climax and catalyst, resolving mysteries that have been building since the season began while setting in motion events that will reshape the Foundation universe. It challenges viewers to reconsider what they thought they knew about psychohistory, the Foundation's purpose, and the nature of time itself. As Gaal says to Demerzel, even you can't help but think linearly when you talk about time, suggesting that the true nature of reality, and perhaps the ultimate solution to the crisis, lies in embracing a perspective that transcends conventional understanding. In the larger context of Foundation's narrative, this episode marks the moment when Selden's carefully constructed plan faces its greatest test. The mathematically predictable future has collided with the unpredictable power of individuals like the Mule and Gaal, whose abilities exist outside the parameters of psychohistory. Whether the Foundation can adapt to these new variables, and whether the second Foundation will emerge as the savior Selden intended or face destruction at the Mule's hands, remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, the carefully ordered galaxy that Hari Seldon sought to preserve through his mathematical predictions is now heading into uncharted territory where even the most brilliant calculations may not be enough to prevent catastrophe.